The Beef Market Update on RealAgriculture.com with Ann Wasko is brought to you by Haney Farms. Do you need seed? Find us at haneyfarms.com.
I'm Lyndsey Smith with RealAgriculture.com. I'm joined once again by Ann Wasko. We are talking beef market update for, well, let's call it the beginning of April. Spring is apparently right around the corner. So I don't feel like it, but you guys out west do. And this week, there's some great news out there.
Well, Lyndsey, first of all, spring is here in Western Canada. Like we talked 2 weeks ago, we've got great weather again today. The forecast for today, tomorrow, absolutely amazing. So spring is here in the west, and would you guys just hurry up out there?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay. You're right, Lyndsey. Some great market prices going on here in Western Canada. First of all, like we always do, let's just start with, kind of the base where the U.S. market is, and then we'll go from there. So in the U.S. last week, fed cattle prices traded really late in the week, but they finally did get some trade in the south at 165. And in the north, 263 dressed. So if you're keeping track, that market in the U.S. has now jumped on a live basis, $4 from 2 weeks ago and $6 from 4 weeks ago. So, certainly after, making a strong January start and then it kind of slid there, we've seen the market perk up. The other thing that's gotten some traction is the wholesale price, what we call the cutout value, and it's gained about $10 a hundred. We're up to about $2.50 at the end of the week for the choice product in the U.S., and that's up about $10 from February the 20th. So, markets have made some move. Like I say, the spring part of the demand market is showing some substance. We'd sure like to see the Eastern Seaboard, both in the U.S. and Canada, move into some better, more typical spring conditions, which historically helps kind of that start to spring demand.
Now, so as you said that prices this week, perked up across the board, basically. Some of this is seasonal, but what's behind, this is still, people are shaking their heads about just how high prices have gone across the board, right? So it's seasonal somewhat, but what else is going on here?
Okay, well, first of all, we rattled through those U.S. prices. Let's just get some of these record prices on the table, and then let's talk about maybe some whys. So locally here in Western Canada, last week, according to Canfax, fed cattle prices averaging over 197 in Alberta. 800 to 900 pound steers in Alberta cracking that 245 mark on average. And if you go back and look, the last record high for that class of cattle was in October at 242. So we blew that one up. And the 500 to 600 pound steer calves averaged 323 last week. And that high, if you remember back at the end of December, was kind of just under $3, $2.95. Cull cows, or D1, D2 cows, just to keep the record straight, we saw their high 2 weeks ago, an all-time high at 145.5. So just unbelievably strong prices. Now, we're still getting the benefit of the 80-cent Canadian dollar. And the other thing that's happened, we talked about the spring impact, but also the stronger basis level. So this year compared to last year, what's happened is we've got a narrower price spread between the U.S. and Canada, especially on fed cattle. So, all things equal, our prices are closer to the U.S. than they were this time last year.
Okay, I will say it's not often that I see people, ranchers posting what they got for their cull cows or bulls on Twitter, but there have been a couple of pictures and with basically the statement, this guy didn't know me anything at this point. It's pretty remarkable. Yeah. And then the icing on the cake, don't forget this, the whole kind of supply story is really why we're here. So, again, according to Canfax, cattle on feed numbers here in Western Canada, March 1, were down 12%. So, again, you've got all of these things going on, the tight supplies, the 80-cent dollar, stronger than, last year's basis level. So all of these things mean record prices. That's what's got us here. We've talked about this before. It means we've got lots of dollars on the table. And we've also talked about having a game plan for managing price risk. And especially in this environment, we can always get market surprises, and there's lots of volatility still
still out there to affect markets. So we've got a 2015 crop that we're going to just start to get going with seeding. So, who knows what Mother Nature and the whole cost side of the equation can bring. So lots of unknowns. And I think maybe just to finish off, Lyndsey, even though we're talking about U.S. and Canadian beef production down so far in the first quarter of 2015, U.S. production's down about 5%. We've now got U.S. pork production up 5% as we speak, and U.S. poultry production up 6%. So if you're saying what's different this year than last year, there's the two things that really stand out to me is those are different than last year.
All right. So the word of caution there to not get complacent and to make sure you've got your risk management in place, and nothing wrong with taking some high prices and turning a profit, but not to settle into this being the norm, right?
Yeah, no, these are absolutely fantastic markets, but don't forget the game plan.
All right. As always, Anne, thank you so much for your insight, and we'll talk again very soon.
Okay, super, Lyndsey. Thank you.